That was a great fight, right?
That was a great fight. Champ for the world. Champ for the world.
That was a good fight. Defense. It's boxing, baby.
The WBC was disgusted to give him the belt. Disgusted.
Keith, was that the game plan coming in? Is that what you were going to do? You use that superior mobility?
Look, man, I told him ahead of time. You fought Khan. He could box. You fought Matisse. He could punch. But you never fought somebody that can box and punch at the same time. You know? Now, people forget that boxing is a sport. And sports are scored on a point system, right? Now, fight fans love to see a tremendous fight. And sometimes when you come to a boxing match, you do get that. You get what you want. You get what you desire. But sometimes you see boxing. Boxing is an art. I finessed my way to victory. I told you that my defense and my accurate punching is what made me victorious. It was a small margin, but it still made me victorious over Sean Porter, okay? Danny, we believe that we took a big lead. We hit him with big punches early on. And he had this awkward movement about him. He had this awkward way he wanted to counter me. I was aware of his counters. I told you guys that he throws wide. I wanted to throw wide too. I wanted to show him, like, you know, you swing, I swing. Batter up, right? I've been giving y'all baseball references this whole week. Batters up. He swung, but he ain't hit no home run. I swung, I didn't hit no home run. But overall, I landed more punches. There were a few rounds where his aggressiveness and the lack of my output may have won him some rounds. But in the same essence, I could use that same boxing style, up my work rate, and there are rounds where for every one punch, I was landing 2 to 3 punches in return. And I knew I was winning those rounds. You know, he didn't like my movement, and I understood that. And I told you guys, once again, that I'm gonna treat him like a computer. You know, we're gonna copy and paste whatever's working. Whatever's working, we're gonna copy and paste. You know, he didn't like the different angles. He didn't like the elevation of the head. He constantly was trying to go to the body, constantly going to the body because he couldn't hit me to the head. Then when he swung at the head, I ducked, I made him miss. You know, I used my jab a lot. His eyes were very good. I was actually impressed with the way he was able to read. You know, I mixed up, changing the jab into a hook, and it was effective sometimes, but due to his lean back and his understanding of distance, sometimes I was missing that well, you know? I mean, I told you guys, I do this shit for fun, baby. This is my day job. This is my job. This is my dreams. This is what I'm here for. I'm here for the challenge. And Danny Garcia did challenge me today, but I passed. I passed. He did not pass the Keith Thurman test. Sean Porter did not pass the Keith Thurman test. We are 28 years old, 20 wins, 22 by way of knockout. I mean, I love the world of boxing. This is what I've loved ever since I was a kid. And it was an honor and a blessing to be a part of boxing history today and to have a tremendous world champion like Danny Garcia as my opponent. You guys, you know, y'all should start to see, man. I'm humble, man. I truly love the sport. I love everything that comes with it.
Hey, Keith, how do you rate Danny's power?
He's strong, you know. I mean, he hit me in the arm in one of those left hooks that he missed. And, I mean, my arm hurts right now. I mean, it felt like a brick was coming at me, you know. So he's strong. And I constantly said that, you know, what could be his weakness is his flat-footedness. What could be his strength is his flat-footedness. His flat-footedness allowed me to dance around him. It allowed me to move. But it's the fact that he's flat-footed, when he wants to commit to punching, when he wants to commit to swinging, he has weight behind it. And I felt the weight of Danny's punches today. I kept my defense. I got out the way with the majority of practically all of them, you know, and it wasn't that effective, but his power was there. He was eager. he would start throwing, you know, 2 hooks together, 3 hooks together, awkward uppercuts and hooks, but they were swinging and not being that effective.
Okay, hold on. You go.
Can he be changed, or is that how he fights? You know, Adrian Broner calls it the no-look left hook. Can a trainer come and change that about him? Because obviously he was exposed tonight, I guess.
I think he has changed a little bit, you know. When I was backing him down, he was hopping. He was doing a little bit of the side to side, side to side, pull back, smother me, hold me. He had technique, man. He had technique, but I had superior technique, and I was able to read his technique, you know. But ultimately, it comes down to who lands the most punches, who's the most accurate, you know. I knew there were times where my hands were up, right? He's throwing a 1-2, and I have to think to myself, that didn't hit me, but it looks good for the judges. It didn't hit me, but it looks good to the crowd, you know? Am I winning this round? Because he did that? Am I winning this round? I don't know. You gotta take that in consideration, Keith. You haven't gotten a knockdown yet. You haven't got a real ultimate spread that puts all eyes on you and on your damage, you know. I was check hooking them, you know. I was landing straight right hands to the body. I was landing short uppercuts here and there. I was landing more of the combinations when combinations were thrown. I mean, it was a nice night of boxing, in my opinion.
Right here.
Thank you. Straight back. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
My question is, when you apparently took your foot off the gas a little bit the last couple of rounds and saw some of the comments that Dan made in the ring that he was okay with that also. The way that boxing matches are scored oftentimes, that has many times in the past cost fighters victories where they may be ahead and they ease up and it costs them in the end. Did that at all enter the thought process of yourself or you, Dan? And why? Because you know how risky it can be to do that in these kinds of fights. You guys got away with it, I guess, tonight. But, you know, it seemed like it might have been able to possibly cost you at some point.
I mean, it cost a few rounds, probably. I mean, it's probably why the one judge made it a split, right? I mean, we didn't win unanimous. This is probably the first 12-round fight of my professional career where it wasn't a unanimous decision, right? So, you know, you're correct in that sense. But as I was doing it, as I was pulling back, how many times did I make a miss? You know, I was saying, if you're going to do this, he cannot touch you. The more he does not touch you, the less credit he gets, no matter if he's more aggressive, no matter, because you have to assess scoring blows. I got here late. I didn't hear everything that Team Garcia had to say, but he mentioned the Laura fight, right? And Laura was very defensive, and Canelo was very active, and it's not like Canelo's activity was highly superior, but like I said, man, when a fighter has his hands up and he's blocking, but the other fighter does throw a 1-2, and it kind of pushes him to the left, throws him off to the right or whatever, it does have an effect on the judges, you know? So if he did that, you know, I try to at least think to myself, you got to get a little bit back in this round. You got to get a little bit back in this round. You got to push at a few moments of this round. There are times where my movement, Danny didn't like the movement, right? He stepped back into the middle of the ring. What did Keith one-time Thurman do? Step right up. Step right up. I was just sitting in the back like, nah, man, come chase me. Nah. As soon as he took off the gas, I got right in his face because I just wanted to be awkward for him, you know? I mean, we did what we had to do to win tonight, and we try to do that each and every time we fight.
All right, well, now that you have this victory,
Okay.
it's a great weight class. You have 2 titles now in this weight class. Fights will come to you, but in your mind, I know you want to fight the best guys, but who do you want to fight in your next fight?
To be honest, you know, I'm not sure, you know. His father said no rematch. Danny might want a rematch. Fans might want a rematch. Who knows, man? There's a lot out there, but real talk, real negotiations, I have no clue, man. I want to keep giving you guys some great fights, right? I mean, I produced 2 back-to-back. Those who really are in the sport of boxing knows that there was an opportunity for me to take a mandatory that we we did not have to really address at the end of the day, you know. And another reason why was because that's not the fight that I wanted. I can't say what I want right now because I got what I want. So right now I'm gonna sit back, reflect, and I will be stepping back in the ring sometime later on this year. I'm not gonna do the whole one fight performance. We didn't have, it's unnecessary, but we're gonna have to see what manifests. There might be some form of a rematch fight. There might be some form of a stay busy fight, and then there might be a great fight in the near future because the welterweight division is a great division, and you know the motto stays the same. I got I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me.
Okay, speaking of great fights, Kell Brook is going to fight Errol Spence. Would that be a fight that interests you, the winner